What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the hell off with that capping ass bullshit, okay? The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap, otherwise you gotta move the hell around. I'm sorry, this ain't the place for you. I'm giving you ample warning, okay? Giving you ample warning that around these parts, all we care about are the facts, the truth, the data, the information, statistics, fact-based evidence, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life. You know, like in real time. You know, like while we're actually alive, while we're actually sane, of sound mind. Because otherwise, I have no idea what these goofies out here are talking about. And to tell you the truth, they don't know what the hell they're fucking talking about. That's why we gotta talk about it. So let's talk about it. As always, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on the notification bell, hit the website offthe9.com, join the Discord. I think I might have done something. I think I might have created something really fucking cool. That's why you gotta join the Discord now. I'm telling you, this is going to be the big one. This is how we are going to transform the world. Because basically, before we even start talking about what it means to change the world, why we should change the world, and what way to change the world, first we got to take a step back and figure out what exactly we are doing as a human race. What the fuck are we doing? Hey, people! People! What are we doing? What exactly are we fucking doing? And for what? What are we doing and why? Why? For what? What are our actual goals? What are our actual aims? In the grand scheme of all of time, what is it that we human beings are actually aiming to accomplish? What do we hope we will achieve by the time everything is said and done? See, these are the kinds of questions that nobody wants to think about, nobody wants to talk about at all. Everybody thinks they already figured it out. Too many people out here think they haven't already figured it out. They think they're so intelligent. They think that they're so above the fucking threshold or of any kind of criticism. And as a result, we've become what I call the scam capital, the capital of the world, the divided states of corporations, a land where we don't unite over nothing. I don't know why we're called the United States of America. We got literal states that aren't even connected to the mainland. That's how ununited we are, right? What is Antarctica fucking, I mean, not Antarctica, what is Alaska? What is Alaska united with? Canada? What the fuck is Hawaii united with? Nothing. Even Hawaii ain't united. Hawaii is just a bunch of fucking islands. You know what I'm saying? Like, so our name itself is capped, the United States. The states don't unite over nothing but fucking bullshit. Right? What are the states united over? What can we say? All the 48, 50 states. Where are they united? They ain't united in gun laws. They're not united on age of consent laws. Like, I mean, in what way are they united? The only thing I can say that they unite over is helping us become a hyper-capitalist, plutocratic, oligarchical, kakistocratic, kleptocratic, gerontocratic, theocratic, idiocratic, craziocratic, techno-feudalist corporatocracy. I know, that's a lot. A lot of people might say it's word salad, but it's a fact and it's accurate as hell. We are a nation run by a bunch of rich, old, corrupt, goofy ass, stupid ass, crazy ass, buffoonish, unqualified, corrupt, thieving ass, conniving ass, Jesus freaks who don't know shit about anything other than being bitch ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches, using taxpayer dollars to sip for these hoe ass motherfuckers who don't do shit, who just extract more resources from our communities so that they can destroy us. And then these bitch ass motherfuckers actually act like they're doing us the solid, like they're actually helping us. Despite the fact that all the numbers show that we are worsening and worsening and worsening and worsening as a society in basically every important metric. So that's why I asked, what exactly are we doing and for what? I'm seeing all these, like, midterm talk, all this midterm talk and all this election talk, but what is it for? What actually is it all for? See, this is one of the problems that I have with our society. People, I mean, our political discourse is shit. It's absolute garbage ass trash. People get so caught up in individuals and the parties, they don't even have any idea what they're fucking voting for and why. How their vote is actually going to help society for real. What the fuck are these fuckers pushing for and for what? What exactly are they trying to do? What are they hoping to accomplish? They get in the office and then do what? If all these fuckers were doing such an amazing job, then why is it that we're at this state, this suboptimal state, where so many fucking people are suffering? Where, despite being the greatest country in the world, we're pathetic as fuck. We're so fucking full of shit, we can't even be honest with ourselves as a society. We can't be honest with ourselves. We are nowhere close to great. Matter of fact, we don't even know what the fuck greatness even looks like. These retards out here that talk about how America's great or how they think they're gonna make America great again, what the fuck is their metric? What exactly is the rubric that they're using to determine what actual greatness is? See, the mere fact that you have these goofies that think that America was ever great at any point means that these people are evil. Period. Period. Because if you ask me, we haven't seen great. We don't even talk about what would greatness look like. If America was truly great, what does that mean? In what way would we be great? How do we determine what greatness is? These are the kinds of conversations that are not being had. I mean, you get a lot of people who say a bunch of crazy shit. A lot of absurd, straight up retarded shit. All of this fucking sci-fi fantasy craziness that I see all over the fucking place. Except I don't see it actually manifesting in real life. So let's just get straight to it, man. You know what I'm here for. You know what I'm talking about. When I say sci-fi fantasy shit, I'm talking about theism, religion, all these different ideologies that are baseless, useless garbage. Straight like that. Convoluted, vague, indirect, fucking ambiguous, just tart talk is what I call it. It's just a bunch of tart talk. The late great fucking Daniel Dennett called it deepities. Same shit, just a bunch of bullshit. People just saying a bunch of stuff that it sounds nice, it sounds deep and insightful if you're a fucking moron retard. But if you're actually somebody who's informed, who has an education, who actually cares about facts, data, information, statistics, all that shit is cap as fuck. Garbage ass trash. These fuckers don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just say a bunch of fucking dumb shit, and at the end of the day, perform zero fucking actions that truly help society improve in any tangible, meaningful way. They have zero interest in improving anything in any tangible, meaningful way. A lot of people, they have these intentions, these ideas that perhaps maybe they want to make things better, but they never really like describe how that can happen. If all you're gonna do is just close your eyes and just talk to nothing, thinking that somehow that's gonna change anything, right? I saw this story earlier today. I forget the gentleman's name, but he was a former NFL player who's literally my age, who now has ALS. Matter of fact, we have the internet. We can find it. You can find it. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. Chris Johnson. Chris fucking Johnson. And it's the saddest thing in the world. I would show y'all a clip. Well, I guess I could show y'all a clip. Now, let's be careful now because motherfuckers will remove my shit if, I use too much of the clip. So I think we can only use about 30 seconds or so of the clip. Not like I really care. It's not like a whole bunch of people are watching my lives. But we'll just watch a small part of it. Check this shit out, man. The fuck? Alright. I would show y'all the whole video, but I'm not trying to have my video get removed for copyright infringement and all that type of shit. Even though we're supposed to have fair use or whatever, but whatever. See, this is I'm not even gonna get to it. But look, this is reality. These are the things that real people are dealing with. I had an uncle pass away from ALS, and so I originally saw this on Facebook, and then in the comment sections, all these fucking people talked about, oh, prayers up, I'm giving my prayers, I'm praying for you, I'm praying. Shut the fuck up with that shit. That prayer shit don't do shit. It doesn't help shit. When someone gets diagnosed with ALS, that's a death sentence, okay? It is a death sentence. The fact that this man can talk in his own voice is actually miraculous. But see, it's miraculous because we have this thing called the scientific fucking method. I know, y'all hate that shit. Y'all can't stand that shit. Y'all can't stand the fact that we have these devices, these things that allow us to perform these different tasks that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have the technology to do it. But yet and still, despite the fact that this man cannot physically talk with his own mouth, he has a device that allows him to be able to speak in his own voice. But it's the mere fact that this man was in peak physical condition to the point where he could be an NFL player. Okay? A fucking on the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. And despite all of that, he's in this horrible situation. You know what I'm saying? I could only dream of being in the type of peak physical condition that he was when he was at his peak. Okay, I've been overweight my whole entire life. For real. Yet and still, I'm 39. And I'm not in the best shape. My hip was killing me. I was cutting the grass earlier. Right? But despite that, I'm still able to walk and talk with my own abilities, right? I don't need assistance to do it. I don't need a fucking wheelchair or a fucking a goddamn device, a speaking machine that speaks for me, right? Like, I can physically speak with my own body. But the fact of the matter is, in real life, people suffer from all these kinds of different debilitating, even terminal illnesses. Your prayers do nothing to stop that. I hate to break it to y'all. I know a lot of y'all might be super duper surprised or shocked, but your prayers don't do shit. They don't help anything. They literally do nothing to stop a disease like ALS. They don't. Trust me. Motherfuckers have tried for a long time. Not a single person was saved with your weak ass prayers. Not one. Not a single one. That's why it's so important to invest in the scientific method, to invest in research, to invest in actually developing the medicines and the treatment methods and the fucking surgical practices that can eliminate conditions like ALS. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with ALS, basically ALS is a condition that causes you to lose your physical capabilities over time. Where you literally, like this gentleman here, he literally cannot do anything physically on his own. He needs assistance. He needs devices. He cannot do or perform any of these tasks at all. And what's so debilitating about ALS is that, at least as far as I'm aware, in most cases, your brain remains intact. So he's still able to communicate. He's clearly coherent, right? He has a device that allows him to speak and say clear thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And on some Stephen Hawking shit, but he wouldn't have that if we didn't have technology. Imagine having ALS without that. Imagine just being stuck. And that's it. You can't say shit. You can't even like motion. You can't even say, oh, that over there. Nah. You're just stuck sitting there. Like a zombie. Trapped in your own body. Your own body becomes a prison. And now a single prayer is going to fucking stop that shit. These are the types of things that get me so up in arms. Because while all these people are out here living in their sci-fi fantasy fucking fairy tale, real people are suffering in real life in all these different ways. Right? All over the planet, all over the nation. All these different situations, which is why I talk about it. Because what the fuck is Christianity, or any religion for that matter, what the hell is theism doing to solve any of this shit? To solve anything? Can somebody please explain to me or provide me with any example of something that Christianity solved? A real world major issue afflicting millions, where Christianity, where Islam came in and saved the day. People were suffering from all of these different diseases, and Christians came with a cure that literally cured the fuck, or treated. And when we're talking about, we're not talking about, oh, you went on a mission trip to some third world. We're talking about literally, like, oh, the COVID pandemic happens and Christians got a cure. I'm not talking about that bullshit. We're talking about things that only y'all could do that couldn't be done with purely secular means, right? Because anybody could go to a third world country and fucking give them the care that they need, as long as you have the resources and the will to do it. That's not something that only Christians or only Muslims or only some religious bullshit group can do. Any group could do it. The government could do it right now. The government has all the means to do it right now. But that's beside the point. How do y'all actually like solve real problems right now? This second. Like for instance, right, there's like the Ebola situation over in Africa that's happening. How is Christianity solving that? Oh, I just seen earlier that there was a flash flood, I think in Kentucky. Where is the prophecy to warn these fucking... Because mind you, Kentucky is a super duper super Christy Christian ass fucking state. They love them some Jesus up in Kentucky. And yet and still, all these people suffering. Matter of fact, let me bring it up. See, because unlike other goofies out here, I like to show y'all what I be talking about. Oh, and they got extreme heat. Because it's fucking, 90 degrees, 90 plus degrees in the Midwest right now. It is hot as fuck. Okay? I was just out there cutting the grass. I am so glad I am inside now with air conditioning and the fan turned up because it is hot. But yeah, already people done lost their lives. Check this. from the hill. Oh, we got a video. Yeah, so I mean, this is what they're dealing with down there. Um, so I guess it was heavy rain, which triggered widespread flash floods, prompting officials to declare a state of emergency. At least 4 people have been killed as rising floodwaters submerged roads, damaged homes, and forced emergency rescues across affected communities. Okay, look. This is the type of shit I'm talking about, fam. I know a lot of people will probably be like, well, how can you expect anybody to know or do anything about it and blah, 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 blah. It's like, look, see, this is my biggest problem with theism. All these theists make these ridiculous claims all the time. They always say things like prayer's the answer, just believe in him, and all this type of stuff. The faith of a mustard seed can move mountains, and they always love to talk about miracles and fucking prophecies and all this type of shit. But when it comes to real world scenarios, when it comes to real life situations, all that shit goes out the fucking window. Because all these things end up happening that none, I repeat, literally zero of them ever predict. Ever. There's never a time when these people are like, yo, I had a dream or I had a vision that 9/11 was going to happen, and these people are the ones that are going to perpetrate it, and these are the people coming over from Saudi Arabia, and these are the people who are going to get the fake passports, and they're going to go over here to these airports and do this and do that. I should fucking stop them. You never see that happen. You never, ever, ever, ever see any of that happen. Ever. Never. In fact, we see the opposite. We see a lot of Christians being victims or playing victim. But typically, they're victims. But what's even worse is a lot of the times they're also the perpetrators. Matter of fact, typically, they perpetrate against each other all the time. Are actually the most. I was having a discussion on Facebook just the other day in an atheist group, strangely enough. Isn't it weird that even though I'm an atheist and I can consort with other atheists, that I'll end up arguing with atheists over theism? Because there's so many fucking atheists that cape for theism. It is the most mind-boggling shit. It makes me question whether or not these people are even real atheists. Because how is it possible that we're in a group where we're all atheists, supposedly, but you're arguing with me over this shit? So, long story short, one of my biggest gripes with Christianity, never mind the fact that they're just wrong as hell, that zero of them can demonstrate any of their bullshit sci-fi fantasy theological claims at all, ever. I mean, like, ever. Never, ever will, not one time. And they've had thousands of years and not a single one of them can demonstrate any of that supernatural crap. But one of the things I always talk about is the major problem of sexual assault that occurs in the church. Because the biggest issue is that they claim of Christian leaders harming children in their communities. And in many cases, even the congregation will help these leaders cover up the fact that they harm these kids. Right? I got a story up right now. It's the story about Notre Dame that we covered like a couple weeks ago, right? But there's some extra, like, details that were released. So I got this article from the Sun Times, right, where it talks about priestly secrets and sexual misconduct at University of Notre Dame. And this was just from a few days ago, okay? Even though, like I said, this story is from a couple weeks ago, but it's a developing story. But it says, a recent report says two Catholic priests, not one, two Catholic priests, long associated with the University of Notre Dame, preyed on male students and other young adults over a number of years, but victims and other critics say church and school officials haven't come clean about all of the sexual misconduct they know about. Surprise, like, I need to come up with some more euphemisms, yo. Because, like, you know, the sky is blue is so fucking old. One of the ones I came up with is, like, and the wind blows in Chicago, y'all. I don't know if y'all know this, but there's, like, wind that actually blows here in Chicago. I don't know if you know this. But, yeah, there's literally a reason why they call us the Windy City. You know? It can get pretty windy at times. But check it out. It says two priests, long affiliated with the University of Notre Dame, groomed and sexually abused young men at the storied Catholic College and elsewhere over many years dating to the 1980s. The highlighted section you see is exactly the issue that we always highlight in all these situations that happen. It says right here, and the clerics, both with ties to the Chicago area, were allowed to stay in ministry long after church and school officials were said to have been aware of some of the potential misconduct. Like, do I even need to say more? Like, this is par for the course. This is, like, typical. This is literally typical. We have covered so many of these same kind of stories, and it's literally unbelievable to me how little people seem to care. Maybe it's the algorithm or something. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm just some fucking, like, super fucking broke-ass dude on the south side in his mother's basement or some shit. But, what's really strange is the fact that, like, billions of people subscribe to this ideology where this shit happens. This type of shit happens every day. Nearly every single fucking day. We find stories, all kinds of stories, sometimes multiple stories, within just a day. Within just one day. And then if we fucking don't do lives for an extended amount of time, we end up backlogged with all kinds of stories. Because it's so typical. It's so common. It's beyond common. But it's always swept under the rug. I literally feel like I'm the only person on earth who was even thinking about talking about this. And see, here's my issue, right? I was talking to one of my friends. Shout out to the homie. One of my online buddies, and he was telling me that he was assaulted when he was a she in the Catholic Church, attending Catholic Mass, Catholic schools, and stuff like that. And it's so crazy to me because he told me that after he got assaulted, that it actually made him more Catholic because he was manipulated by the elders that told him that if he snitched, that the Lord would be super duper angry with him. Which is exactly the type of manipulation that happens all the fucking time in those communities. And it literally sickens me how, like, matter of fact, I'll just show y'all. I mean, I always show y'all all the fucking time. Every single time. The same resource. And y'all can say I'm a fucking, for those of you who may watch me, y'all might say I'm a broken record, but you kind of gotta be. Because people don't want to listen. So you got to repeatedly tell them. You got to beat them over the head with it. Now, I go to this website all the time. It's called notinourchurch.com. And to show you the exactly how manipulation happens, to show you how people suppress their critical thinking skills, this is their mission. This is written by a woman who is a Christian, by the way. She says, our mission is to help churches become unattractive environments for predatory abusers by putting awareness, prevention, and healing resources in one place. We do the research and share the resources. Why is this our mission? I am a survivor of pastoral, emotional, and sexual abuse. Yes, my pastor, an elder of our church, and my boss was an abuser. As a result, my husband and I began to study pastoral abuse and to follow social media and news reports on what seemed like a growing number of other pastoral abuse tragedies worldwide. So many churches of all denominations are impacted by abuse involving children, teens, and adults. So many pastors are not taking responsibility. So many elders are protecting the institution and not taking care of the sheep. I kept asking God, how can this happen? Why aren't churches prepared? Why aren't churches safe? We should be safe at church. I realized that our church has some safety measures for the children, but didn't have any prevention or protection for adults. No policies, no reporting procedures, no investigation procedures, no training, no plan to care for the abused, nothing. That's when God impressed it on my heart to build a website, to do the research and gather information on awareness, prevention, and healing and put it in one place so churches and survivors can use it. So here it is. And this is exactly the type of shit that I find so dramatically problematic. It's dramatically problematic. It's to an extreme. See, on the surface, this might seem, oh, that seems like a helpful, useful thing to do. Why would you be mad about that? Because it misses the forest for the trees. I say this all the time. Theism is the greatest, longest-running sci-fi fantasy multi-level marketing scam in the history of history. They sell a product / service that literally does not exist. It does not work at all. Literally, at all. But the more important part is that they have so much fucking money. I mean, we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry with multiple billions of fucking people all over the fucking world. Literally all over the world. Here in America alone, 200 million plus people. Literally about 2/3 of the population subscribe to some form of sci-fi fantasy craziness. With this many people, with these many resources, why would this website need to exist? Oh, and I forgot the most important part. If you have the Lord, then why the fuck aren't you safe just because the Lord's protecting you? Why would you even need policies or reporting procedures or investigation procedures or training or a plan to care for the abused if the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was supposedly protecting you in the fucking first place? Isn't that what y'all say? Y'all are the ones that talk about the Lord this and the Lord that and Jesus this and Jesus that and the Lord this and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit and the Holy Trinity, the triune, triumvirate, triforce Trinity thing that y'all always obsess over. Where is it? Where is it to protect you? Why would you need to be a survivor? And mind you, this is not me trying to victim blame, but at this point, we got to be real with these people. They're putting themselves in these positions. They're putting their children in these positions. And there is a reason why this is extraordinarily problematic, especially when you consider this website and the research that is claimed on this website. Because if we take it at face value, and look, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, that's fine. I don't have a problem if you don't accept any of these like data points, statistics, the research, whatever. If you want to sit here and tell me that this shit is cap, look, have at it. Do you have any better data though? Do you have a more substantive bit of data, research, statistics, or whatever? But these are exactly the problems that I have. Alright? Give me a second because I kind of want to juxtapose it with something else. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. So I want to show y'all a couple things and show you exactly why theism is not only disgusting, but why. Okay, look, I'm gonna just say this. People say you shouldn't victim blame. Sometimes you gotta victim blame. And it's not to say, oh, it's totally your fault, but it's to say, hey, you have to take accountability for your role in this. Okay? So that it doesn't happen again, right? If you have been a victim of any kind, of course the perpetrator is the problem. But what I'm saying is, if you are a victim, you have to be able to look at the situation and try to learn from it so that not only can you prevent it from happening to you again, but that you can help prevent it from happening to others. Right? But if you refuse to learn the lesson, you choose to go back to your abuser, or you choose to remain in an environment that fosters abuse, well, that's your fucking fault. And if you get abused or your kids get abused, who else is there to blame? You know that there's this saying, fool me once, shame on you. You can't get fooled again. You know what I'm saying? I'll never pass up an opportunity to use that quote. But I want to show y'all these important, or I should say this important fact. So straight up, this is from Pew Research Center, okay? They're one of the leading, like, statistical research fucking institutions probably in the world. Alright? Now check this out. It says right here, women continue to make up a majority of Christians. Alright? Women continue to make up a majority of Christians. Yes, it says women also account for nearly half of all religiously unaffiliated Americans, but they still make up a majority of Christians. That's the important part. I want y'all to understand that. Women continue to make up a majority of Christians. So some of y'all might be asking, okay, whatever, why are you saying that? Why is that important? You got a point? Yeah. Yeah, a major point. Because check this. According to the late, and this is on this, not in our church website, by the way. According to the late A.W. Richard Sipe, the sexual exploitation of women by priests is not uncommon. Other researchers have argued that misconduct by clerics toward women is even more prevalent than their sexual abuse of children. According to research cited in When Pastors Pray, a publication of the World Council of Churches, 90 to 95% of victims of clergy sexual exploitation are women. This book also cites a 1984 survey of clergy in various Protestant denominations that found that 39% admitted to having sexual contact with the congregate and 12.7% had sexual intercourse with their congregate. And then here's another important data point. And more important, well, not more important, but equally as important, very damning data point. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. Now, I cite this because earlier I mentioned I had a debate with an atheist, right, about this very shit. And so that I showed him this literal fucking point that showed 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous, and that the abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. And this fucking clown tried to tell me, oh, they can't do anything about it, it could happen anywhere, and all this type of stuff. But I'm like, but I just showed you that Okay, yeah, it can happen anywhere, but it happens among theism, among theists, the most. And I can show you because every day we look this shit up and we look at the stories of this exact shit that happens. That's why I do this, because nobody else seems to be even remotely interested in this. And I'm honestly, like, frankly confused as to why they don't seem to have much of an interest in this topic. Because, see, Christians talk all the fucking goddamn time about how they care so much about the children. Oh my Lord, the children. Please, God, cover the children. Cover the babes with your blood and all that retarded ass bullshit they always say. But when it comes to their actual, I don't know, health, when it comes to their actual well-being, they all of a sudden seem to not give a single fuck. That shit is fucking crazy. Oh my God. Hey guys. I'm sorry. So, as I usually do around this time, I always look up Christian sexual assault so we can look up the latest news in the Christian rape culture. And this is literally hot off the fucking presses. This literally just dropped 19 minutes ago while we were live. You can't make this up, folks. Check this out. San Francisco Archdiocese to pay $395 million to sexual abuse victims. What the fuck did you know? Who would have ever thought? Look at that, 19 minutes ago. This just happened, fam. This just happened. So, it says, now I thought they was going to hit us with the fucking paywall, y'all, but I guess they're giving us a freebie today. Attorney Jeff Anderson holds up a photo of a former priest involved in the church's sex abuse scandal. The San Francisco Archdiocese will pay out nearly $400 million to survivors of clergy sexual abuse, encompassing 70 years of children falling prey to priest lawyers, announced Monday. The settlement sets up a trust to compensate 530 survivors of childhood sexual abuse, all of whom are now adults, and establishes extensive child protection reforms to protect minors from abuse. Fam. This is what I'm talking about. Where's all the Christians at? Hey, Christians, this is a super duper horrible, disgustingly bad look for y'all. $395 million fucking dollars, G. See, this is exactly what I have a major problem with. The fact that, I mean, at what point are we gonna fucking just accept that Christianity is just a giant criminal organization? A criminal scam organization? I mean, how is it that this year alone, the Catholic Church has paid way north of $1 billion? Just this year alone. Or should I say are set to pay more. And, we don't want to get too, super duper technical. There are, offerings, and there are, proposals and red tape and all that. But, I mean, fam, you take a number like this, right? Look at that. 395, so basically $400 million. Let's just round it up to a cool 400 million in San Francisco. All right? Now, let's add that to a number like like this. I show this all the time. I know I'm an asshole. It's unfair at this point. Two major American cities, and look at the date. This is May 1st, so literally a month ago. Or let's just say 2 months ago, since it's about to be, a new month. But fam, from two major American metropolitan areas, already a cool over a billy. 400 plus 800, that's like 1.2 billy. From two cities. Two cities already this year. This year, $1 billion in restitution for rape against children. So, my friend I was talking about earlier, one of the things that he was saying was he was talking about this Epstein situation and how it's so horrible and terrible and terrible and horrible and all this type of shit. And of course I agree that it's terrible and horrible. But one of the things I was saying was like, it's crazy how people give so much of a fuck about that. And that's some shit they can't do shit about. You can't do shit about lawmakers and rich fucks raping kids. Because the whole point is that they're in these powerful positions. They're in these wealthy positions so that they can be able to do that shit. But when it comes to the motherfuckers in their own neighborhoods, when it comes to the kids in their own neighborhoods, they don't seem to give a fuck at all. I mean at all. I mean, it's like it didn't even happen. It doesn't happen. Unless somebody like me is bringing it to their attention, it didn't happen. You know that whole, like, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. But here's an even more important question. If a tree falls in the forest and everybody can fucking see it, but people don't want to believe it, did it make a sound? Even though I'm right there saying, hey, tree fell, right there. It's like right there. Hey, people! There's a tree that fell in a fucking forest! It's right here! I'm pointing it right to you! Look what it says. Look at the tree that fell. Statement of Archdiocese. Matter of fact, let me turn the sound on. So y'all can hear this type of shit. Because you know they want to make the video autoplay while I'm fucking doing shit. So why don't we just play the shit? Fam, the fact they even have to say that, the fact you even have to say some crazy shit like that, you should be disgusted. You should be embarrassed. You should jump off a fucking bridge. Being a part of some crazy shit like this. Why does theism get such a pass? I don't get it. If this were any other institution, there would be so many fucking arrests all over the place. There'd be all kinds of indictments, all kinds of RICO cases, all kinds of motherfucking life sentences, all kinds of motherfucking plea deals happening, all kinds of fucking snitching motherfuckers going into fucking witness protection and all this shit. If I had a group that even had one accusation, if I, myself, me, the ultimate rage, if I had one accusation levied against me, so many people would be so fucking happy. So many people would be quick as fuck to talk all the shit about me all day. See, I told you, he was a fucking demon. I told you, he totally against the Lord. I told you he was totally. But what about when it's actually the people of the Lord? When it's literally the Lord's people himself. And it's the Lord's people who are being hurt by the Lord's people himself. Why is nobody talking about Christian on Christian crime? Why is nobody talking about Christian on Christian crime? It's like I'm saying that tongue in cheek because, you know, a lot of ridiculous right-wing conservatives love to talk about black on black crime and like to pretend like nobody talks about black on black crime every time a situation of black on black crime happens. But when Christian on Christian crime happens literally every day, don't tell nobody. Don't tell a soul. No. We're just gonna say that it was free will. It was free will. Yeah. See, he failed in his free will. He stumbled in his walk with the Lord. But see, the thing is, he repented. Yeah. He repented to the Lord. So now he's totally not a rapist no more. And this is normal. This is normal. I am considered the evil person, not the rapist. I'm considered the evil person for pointing out the rapist. I was kicked off of TikTok for doing this, showing you guys this shit. And mind you, I didn't have this good of quality. I was literally showing y'all on my phone. And TikTok was saying that I was misinforming y'all. They literally said this was misinformation. Even though I'm showing you my resources. So you're going to say that fucking ABC 7 is bullshit? I mean, because look, if that's what you're going to say, I don't have a problem with it. But if that was the case, then why are you allowing them to have so many fucking followers on your platform then? Why are you attacking me? I'm just reporting the report that they did. This is their reporting. I'm just showing the masses. What's up with that? Why would they act so Orwellian like that? Why would they shut me down like that? Why would they suspend me? Because I'm like, yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, raping children is like not good. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be like, no, it's totally fine. Yeah, totally amazing, guys. We should all engage in such antisocial behavior. Yeah, no. How about no? How about no? That's why it's like I feel like I'm literally living in Black Mirror. Because I'm the horrible, terrible person. Because I show you guys, hey, this is what the Christian church is up to, okay? This is literally the latest news in Christianity. This is literally the hot topic. Fam, I barely have $39.5 in my checking account. These fucks could just pay $400 million on a whim for raping kids for 70 years, fam. 70 years. 70 years. Where's the uproar? Hey, Christians. Where, and mind you, I said, right, this is par for the course. Cover-ups. Because you mean to tell me in 70 years, nobody knew? In 70 years, $395 million of rape was occurring, and nobody knew that whole time. Not even the Lord. Where was the Lord? This is why I have the problem. Because at the end of the day, where the fuck is the Lord? To hold these weirdos accountable so it doesn't get to this number. That's why I get so confused when Christians come at me and say that I'm the one that's so filled with hate. How can I be filled with hate if I'm trying to protect you? You and your kids. By trying to tell you, you are putting yourself and your children in danger by being a part of this community where this shit happens. First of all, this community is garbage. I'm sorry to break it to you, but this community sucks. I know you don't want to think that. I know you want to think this community is amazing. But when I can show you hundreds of millions of dollars of rape, right? 395 million just today. Not even 30 minutes ago. Not even 30 minutes ago. 400 million, fam, in San Francisco. A couple months ago 800 million in New York. That's amazing. It's amazing that this is not a story. I mean, it's a story, but it's not like a scandal on the level of the Epstein shit. This is the disconnect I'm talking about. It's hard to fucking hold accountable the rich, the elites, the fucking the oligarchs, the bourgeois as they call it. But you can't hold accountable the motherfuckers in your neighborhood, motherfuckers at your church, motherfuckers at that church. Where's the Lord, by the way? I'm still waiting for the answer. Hey, Christians, where the fuck is the goddamn Lord? Because we need some goddamn answers. If y'all claim that the Lord is so real and so true and so great and so wonderful and merciful, and he's this and he's that, and he does this and he does that, and he thinks this and he thinks that, where the fuck is he at right now to save these kids before it gets to this point? So it doesn't get to this point. Where are y'all talking about how y'all gonna stop this shit? Why is it that we need law enforcement to hold you retards accountable because you're so incapable of fucking holding yourselves accountable? 70 years, nothing. Nothing. 70 years. Now check this out. So back in this article, right, it says, Jeff Anderson, one of the lead attorneys for survivors, said the $395 million settlement is less than the full measure of accountability, obviously, because obviously they did so much fucking more fucking rape than this. I'm willing to bet my life that 530 survivors is just a tip of the iceberg if we were to look at the totality of all the people. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But it is monumental in terms of the conditions it places on the archdiocese, including a 14-point plan for protecting nah, fam. No. This 14-point plan, whatever it is garbage. Whatever it is garbage, fam. How about just eliminating the church as a whole? Nothing gets done there. The only thing that gets done there is rape. What else gets done? What the fuck else do they do? Can somebody find me what the fuck the Catholic Church actually does other than rape kids? When have you seen them have to pay $395 million on anything else other than this? I've never seen the Catholic Church pay $400 million to build a motherfucking a research facility to stop cancer or some shit. A $500 million donation to eradicating sickle cell or some shit. Or saving the homeless, feeding the homeless, something tangible that doesn't require criminal fucking action. Something that they do because they're so, you know, godly, because they're so wonderful, because they're so amazing that they actually do want to help the fucking world. No, they have to pay restitution for all of the fucking criminal behavior that they engage in on such a huge scale, or for such a long temporal amount of time. Not 7 days, not 7 weeks, not 7 months, not 7 years. 70 years! 70 years, fam. If that's not a fucking giant warning sign of a community you should not be a part of at all, for any reason, why would you want to be a... People, I need you to explain this to me. I need somebody in a comment somewhere. Why would you want to become a part of a community with a documented 70-year history of child rape? A 70-year history of child rape. Imagine, right? You move to a new neighborhood in some neighborhood somewhere in America, and you're scoping schools, and you find this one school has a documented history A 70-year history of rape at the school, to the point where they had to pay $395 million in settlements for all the rape they were doing. Are you really that retarded that that's the school you would enroll your child into? Because if you are, you're a crazy person and you should have your children taken away from you. Straight like that. Straight like that. But see, here's the problem. This is our society. This is literally our society. Our current society is like, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck we want to do. Yeah, let's create this weak ass 14-point plan that of course is not gonna fucking work, because how is that gonna do? We're talking about an institution that has $395 million that they can pay. Ain't nobody talk about fucking criminal actions. Nobody's where are the arrests? This motherfucker's being put in prison? Like, what are we doing, fam? Oh, and look at this. I love mentioning this, but they did it for me. This show right here. In 2024, the Archdiocese of Los Angeles paid $880 million to hundreds of victims of clergy sexual abuse dating back decades. Oh, another fucking city where that happened. The settlement with 1,353 survivors was the biggest single child sex abuse settlement with a Catholic archdiocese, according to experts. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles has previously also paid $740 million to victims, bringing the payout to survivors to more than $1.5 billion. Fam. I mean, mind you, now this is the 1.5 with LA. We talk about that all the fucking time, right? So think of these numbers. With LA alone, LA by itself is 1.5 billion in settlements for rape, child rape. 1.5 billion just for LA. 400 million here in San Francisco. 800 million there in New York. These are gargantuan ass numbers. And mind you, these are nowhere near the only ones. Nowhere near the only ones. We're talking billions, each case, millions, and many of them hundreds of millions of dollars. Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, fucking Baltimore, New Mexico. I mean, the stories are everywhere. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of fucking dollars, G. Where's the Lord? It is 5:21 p.m. Central Standard Time on June the 29th, 2026. Where the fucking goddamn fuck are the Father, the Son, and or the goddamn Holy Spirit to answer for this shit? And why the fuck are Christians all over the fucking world seem to be completely blind and deaf to this crap? Why is it that they don't seem to have a single answer as to why this shit persists in their community on such a constant basis? That we can look this shit up and we can just find these gargantuan numbers all the fucking time. I mean, I've done this so many fucking times. Where we just find all these fucking settlements. And the numbers are staggering. Staggering. I mean, it is absurd. It's absurd. So obviously, they're going to talk about this all day because this just happened. But I mean, like, there's so many, fam. There's so many. Right? This ain't even recent. Like, I'm just so disgusted that this is like not even remotely a story that people seem to give a fuck about. Right? Despite the absurd numbers. The absurd numbers. Like, it would make sense if it was like, oh, like it was just a couple people, a couple isolated incidents or some shit. But we're talking about an institutional level, a literal fucking, a criminal organization at this point. Because how bad does it have to be when you have to spend these kind of amounts? Like here, according to Spectrum News, in Buffalo, $150 million. $150 million. You feel me? And this is easily available information. I mean, it doesn't stop. Look at this. Right? In Syracuse, 176 million. Okay? Like, I mean, we could do this all day. The point is, where the fuck is the Lord? I'm still waiting for Christians to provide us with the actual answer as to the current whereabouts of the supernatural, super intelligent, super duper thing that supposedly, like, is supposed to prevent this shit. You know, because y'all have this super duper moral code that's so, like, super duper amazing. Right? What moral institution has to pay a dime for rape? Because I would think that an institution that were truly like super moral, that they would just like not rape at all. But who knows? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just ridiculous. I mean, look, it's not to say that this shit can't happen, right? It's not to say, oh, this shit can't happen in the church or whatever, right? But it's the fact that they make these claims. The fact that they make these claims that they have these super duper morals that are super duper amazing. And yet, they can't show us how what they do actually helps. Here's what we do find. This is the type of shit that we find. Yeah. Former New Deal preacher arrested, accused of guess what? Guess what? I love to venture a guess. Like, what the fuck? This is so absurd. 48-year-old Brian Townsend. They can't even show his full face. He's such a bitch-ass dude. 48-year-old Brian Townsend is accused of sexually abusing a child and was booked into the Lubbock County Detention Center. A former preacher in New Deal has been arrested accused of sexually abusing a minor from 2019 to 2020, according to court documents. They didn't provide any actual extra details here. But yeah. I don't know why they didn't show his real face. He's a fucking clown. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Where's the Lord? Where's the Lord? Where the fuck is the goddamn Lord? And what is the point in believing this crap? Like this is the shit that drives me crazy. Drives me fucking crazy. Like these people they continue to engage in this craziness despite the obvious, clear-cut, concrete failure of their ridiculous bullshit. Like, to the point where shit like this happens, right? Hazlitt congregation votes against reinstating pastor who hired sex offending son. Caleb Crawford is a registered sex offender who worked as an independent contractor for a school and church in Hazlitt. The Hazlitt pastor who hired his son, a child sex offender, to work on the Heritage Baptist campus was dispelled from the church on Sunday after the congregation voted not to reinstate him as senior pastor. In February, parents at Heritage Christian Academy found out former senior pastor Eric Crawford employed his son Caleb Crawford at the private school despite his lifetime status as a sex offender. Wow. Caleb Crawford was incarcerated in 2016 after indecently touching his... I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. This is not funny. It's just so crazy. Like, it's crazy that this is the type of shit that they do. This is the type of shit that they do, fam. Like, it's bizarre to me that this is what they do. Where are the revelations to see that this weirdo was going to be on this type of shit so you can prevent that? See, this is what I'm talking about. These fucking sci-fi fantasy loonies, they always talk about having these visions, having these signs. They always say, God impressed upon me to do this and to do that. Why wouldn't God impress upon any of y'all to stop this fucking madness before it starts? To have a vision, oh, somebody's gonna do this crazy shit, or somebody has this proclivity that people should really look into. Yeah, it never works, does it? Y'all never really get revelations or any kind of prophecy about anything actually useful. It's always this crap, this craziness, this retarded nonsense about, oh, the Jesus is coming back. He's coming back on June 29th, 2026, and he's going to do this, he's going to do that, and he's going to say this, he's going to say, and it never happens. And they always look stupid as fuck every single fucking time. That's why I am so, like, amazed. I am baffled that this is par for the course. That this shit happens. And it's always, like, the worst of the worst, right? I mean, it's bad enough touching any 12-year-old, period, right? But then touching your cousin. Like, what is that? What is that? And then to be a pastor, and, you know, you're walking in the faith in the Lord, but you would, like, hire your sex-offending child at the church. And then we wonder how children get harmed in the church. We literally wonder how they get harmed in the church. Now, to be fair to this weak-ass church, they did the right thing, and they said, nah, you can't come back. But they're still full of shit because their ideology is garbage-ass trash. It's false. It's baseless. It completely is divorced from reality, and nothing really useful will come out of it. What good does the church do, actually? What value do they have? People always talk about community, but what good is the community if everybody's getting raped all the fucking time? What good is the community if it allows this type of behavior to persist on a constant basis? Okay, you dropped them from this church, cool. How do you prevent the next one? There's no mechanism that will actually work because you can't. So, going back to the argument I had with that goofy ass atheist I was talking about, mind you, and I've said this all the time, atheists aren't like I don't fuck with atheists just because they're atheists. There's some really ridiculously stupid ass, retarded ass atheists out here, and I, as an atheist and anti-theist, would be the first to tell you. But I'm showing this dude that, like, this shit happens in their communities the most. This isn't just something that happens everywhere. It happens there the most. that there's data that shows this, that there's these type of stories that happen every day. Even if we just eliminated all the archdiocese settlements, the billions of dollars in settlements, even if we cut all of those out, every single story of those out, we still have daily stories of this type of shit happening all the time. Anyway, every day. Where the fuck is the Lord? These Christians are still failing to produce that data. They'll come in here. They'll say all kinds of ridiculous ass, retarded ass bullshit. They'll say, oh, he's in another dimension. He's outside space-time. He's in me. He's in you. He's in everything. He's everywhere. He's out. He's this. He's that. But none of it are anything that they can demonstrate. That they can actually demonstrate in real life. So what the fuck is the point of this shit? I'm still trying to figure out what is the point of believing this crap. Even if we took the rape out of it, even if we pretended like rape was never a part of their storied history, what is the point of this shit? What do they provide to society other than rape? Because that's all they seem to provide. If they do anything that's useful, these are not things that couldn't be done with purely secular means. We're talking about what does Christianity specifically provide? What do they provide that nobody else can provide? Because you can't say, oh, nobody else can provide a community. We got communities all over the motherfucking nation. We got communities all over the fucking internet. We got different fucking websites, different fucking apps, and different fucking platforms that we could use to create communities. So that's not something that's unique to Christianity. I'm trying to rack my brain. What does Christianity provide to society? What does it actually provide? What value does it actually add to the world? And I really can't think of nothing. I really am struggling to come up with anything that would sound sensible, because that's the point. There's nothing. And that's not to say that there can't be good people, that there aren't good people in these communities, in these groups. But but at the same time, can you really be a good person if you support a scam? A scam that you know is a scam? That you try to obfuscate the fact that it's a scam? That you will combat people like me over your scam? That you're so happy to enable, enrich, and empower a scam, knowing it's a scam? When all the data shows it's a scam. Because where's the Lord? I'm still waiting for that answer. Not one single Christian seems to know. That's why I find it so strange when I always talk about somebody finding God. Because how can you find... If you found God, then why I gotta look for him? Like, what the fuck? If you found him, why don't you just give me the location? I could go right there and I'll be like, yo, I found him too. And I could show. In fact, we could show. And then now we're all Christians. This is why Christianity is the greatest, longest running sci-fi fantasy multi-level marketing scam in human history. Because for thousands of years, so many people have subscribed to this retarded ass sci-fi fantasy garbage. Yet zero, I repeat, zero of these people can demonstrate the Lord at all. Right now. This second. You can gather up every single Christian on earth. My whole entire family, my extended family, all my neighbors. Damn near everybody in Chicago. Every single fucking one of them. You can put them all into a giant motherfucking goddamn mega church or fucking a big stadium or some shit, and you could give them all the same task: provide us with the current whereabouts of the Lord. Zero, I repeat, zero of them will provide us with anything useful. Not one time, not once, not one time. I'm talking about every single Christian on earth. Because if they could, why don't they? Why haven't they? They've had Way the hell more than enough time. That's why it's so bizarre to me that it's normal that billions of people can subscribe to this crazy ass garbage. And those of us who see that it's crazy ass garbage and publicly point out that this crazy ass garbage is crazy, we're the ones that are looked at as crazy. I'm looked at like I'm a rapist for saying, hey, those rapists over there, they're like not cool. That behavior is like totally like unacceptable. We should like not do that. Those people should not be fucking celebrated at all. Like at all. But and that's what highlights one of the major problems that we have today. Because think about this. Texas approves mandatory Bible readings in public schools, reigniting a century-long debate. So, we just went through all this rape that happens in the church. None of these Bible readings seem to have any impact at all whatsoever on preventing it, stopping it, any of that. At all. Right? And of course, this thing called the Constitution, right? Constitution of the United States of America. I keep a Constitution because, I'm like an American or some shit. All these bitch ass patriots and none of them have a fucking Constitution. They always love to throw out the word. They throw out the fucking word so much. Where's their Constitution? Because I have one and I show y'all all the fucking time what it says. And there's this thing called a First Amendment. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but the First Amendment, it literally says verbatim, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's like literally the first thing that it says. That's the first thing it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That means that Texas doing this is unconstitutional. It's directly unconstitutional. It's literally unconstitutional. It says it right there. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Yeah, these are the type of laws. These are the type of laws that respect an establishment of religion. Regularly. Now you could say, well, what about the part after that? Because to be fair, it does say, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Okay. Now, it says that. But as I always say, those things cancel out. Because you can't say we can't respect an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, because those are literally contradictory things. Those are literally contradictory. You can't. If you allow the free exercise of religion, then we would allow all these rapes to occur, because this is clearly what religious people love to do. That's why we have laws in the first place, because there's some things we just don't want to allow you to do. I don't care. So you don't have free religion. You don't have the free exercise of religion, because clearly Christians love to freely exercise the ability to rape children, but we have these laws that say, yeah, that's not cool. So by definition, the First Amendment, at best, is vague about what it fucking wants. Which is how these Christian loonies have been able to manipulate so many fucking people who fucking by asserting that the Bible grants, the Constitution grants fucking freedom of religion. It does not. I just read to you verbatim what it says. You can't create a law respecting the establishment of religion or preventing the free exercise thereof. Those that like I said, those cancel out. Those directly cancel out. Directly. And yet our society has become such a theocracy. They've gone all the way to respecting religion to the highest amount. So much so that even when Christians are engaging in all this fucking rape, they're not being brought up on charges like that. They're not being shut down. They're not getting hit with RICO cases, despite this being multiple states of rape. Multiple states of rape by the same institution, the Catholic Church. And we could just generalize it to the Christian church if we're going to be real about it, because we just show a lot of these stories happen in all different fucking branches and denominations of Christianity. It's not just the Catholics. The Catholics just do it the most. They just do it at the highest level. Or should I say, they've been caught the most. I'll say it like that. They've been caught the most. But it's just so bizarre that an institution like the Christian church can be guilty, clearly guilty of this behavior. This shit can happen every day, right? We covered the story of a major settlement in a major metropolitan American city, and then we showed you individual stories that just happened within the past 24 hours, right? We're just looking at stories that happened within the past 24 hours. We ain't even looked at the past week. Because there's so many fucking stories. It's so many stories every day. Look, and look at this. This is the type of crazy shit that these loonies do. It says Lexington church goes viral for skit shooting the devil in front of children. Where the fuck is the devil? Just like how I ask every day, where's the fucking Lord? Where exactly is the devil? Why is it that Christians always say this retarded ass garbage, but they never demonstrate any of it, ever? Never. You want to make a video shooting the devil? Why don't you shoot the rapist in your church? Or how about not shoot anybody? How about you just like knock it off with the bullshit right now? See, these are the issues that I have with the church. It's bad enough you have nothing. I mean, no Jesus, no Father, no Son, no Holy Spirit, no angel anywhere, no demons anywhere, no Satan anywhere. There's no Satan anywhere. And isn't it funny that, like, these people talk about the spiritual realm? You can't measure what's spiritual and the physical, but you're shooting the devil. Alright. If there was a devil in real life, you really think you're gonna stop it by shooting it, and you can't even locate it right now, the second. Even with all the fucking intelligence agencies and all the military technology in the world, they still haven't seemed to find the devil anywhere. Christians seem to be completely, totally, and utterly incapable of discovering the Lord and Savior anywhere. And then here's the irony. You can't write this shit. So check this out. On Monday, Walker posted a video on the church's Facebook page and apologized to anyone who might have been offended by the video, but said what's being shared online contains a lot of misinformation. Oh my God. Who does more misinformation than the church? The entire lore of theology is misinformation. Zero of it is true. 2.4 billion Christians in the world right now. Show me a single angel right now. Show me a literal angel. No, don't say, oh, well, my daughter, she's so sweet. I think she's like an angel. I'm talking about an actual, literal, spiritual angel. A spiritual angel. Whatever the fuck that even means. But here's the funny part, though. Because he goes on to say, Walker said the church has been putting on Vacation Bible School for 32 years, and every year they feature a skit highlighting the difference between evil and good. In the last several years, the skit has included, quote-unquote, Commandos for Christ using the gospel gun. Walker said the skit was included in a message intended to teach kids to hate sin and hate the devil. See, this is what I'm talking about. What up, Ice? What up? What up? But my question is, where's the devil? Y'all hate him so much, y'all can't find him. Y'all talk about him so much, where he at? You're using a gospel gun. What the fuck does that even mean? What the hell is a gospel gun? See, this is that sci-fi fantasy craziness that I'm talking about. I don't know, Ice. Why, and if they had a gospel gun, why don't they shoot these fucking weirdos then? This is what I don't understand. Why don't you use your gospel gun to shoot these fucking weirdos? Why you gotta use it against Satan? And y'all are the ones raping kids, you fucking pieces of shit! What the fuck? I don't get it! I don't see Satan nowhere! I don't see a Father, a Son, a Holy Spirit. I don't see an angel. I don't see a demon. I don't see a cherub. I don't see this. I don't see that. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. What I see is y'all are the ones raping children all the fucking time, to the point where you gotta pay for this. Ice, this just happened. San Francisco Archdiocese to pay $400 million to sexual abuse victims. This just came out. This just came out right now. While we were live, this news broke. While we were live. Why can't they use the gospel gun for this kind of crazy shit? Because this shit don't seem to stop anytime soon. They even mentioned in the article. At the very bottom. And you know where I'm going. In 2024, the Archdiocese of LA paid $880 fucking million, and then before that, they paid $740 million, topping out at $1.5 billion just in LA. So you add that, right? So that's 1.5 billion, right? 1.5 billion plus another cool 400 million, and you're basically at like 2 billion right there. With two cities. You're already at 2 billion. With 2 cities. Because that's how much rape that they've done. Oh, and by the way, for nearly 70 years of children falling prey to priests. 70 years. Where the fuck was the Lord the whole entire time? Motherfuckers talking about using gospel guns to shoot the devil, but can't use the gospel gun to shoot the rapists of children in real life. I've never seen a devil rape nothing. I've never seen a devil ever. Like, ever. I mean, that's not to say it's not real. Actually, yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like, this is the craziness I'm talking about. This is the type of shit that these fucking loonies are super duper focused on. But when it comes to, like, stopping the rape against their own children and their community, they ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing. Well, I shouldn't say they ain't got nothing. Because the lawyer helped them come up with a 14-point plan of protecting children. But see, I got a better plan. I got a way better plan for protecting children. It's only one point. Get them the fuck out of these churches. Now. Get them out. Get them the fuck out. Get them the fuck out. They are the most vulnerable there. I was talking earlier about how I was on Facebook in the atheist group arguing with the fucking atheists about this type of shit. Motherfucker was trying to tell me, oh, well, it's not all Christians. And I'm like, I never said it was all Christians, but if you ask me, all Christians are complicit for supporting an environment where this shit is par for the course. The fact that they enrich, enable, and empower these type of people constantly, and despite the fact that these stories break every fucking day, this shit is not, like, publicized at all. And they don't seem to give a fuck. You find all these Christians that are up in arms about abortion, but they're not up in arms about this. I don't get it. I don't get it. And these are their kids. They're more concerned about other people's unborn kids than their actually born kids. And then what's even crazier is that they don't really care about unborn kids, as I've talked about before, because all the factors that cause unborn kids, they don't give a fuck. Right? We showed the fucking data that shows that the number one cause of abortion are financial problems. Poverty. Poverty is the number one driver of abortion, and I don't see a single anti-abortionist saying, hey, fuck poverty. Hey, let's eradicate poverty. If they really cared about stopping abortion, why don't they even mention it? Why don't they even mention that? I never seen them say, hey, poverty is killing the children. Because that's also a problem that real life children have to deal with as well. They are completely unconcerned about that shit. And as I've stated before, you know, other fucking situations like stillbirths and fucking miscarriages and SIDS, they don't give a shit at all. I mean at all. Period. Period. So when they talk about they care so much about the babies, cap! They don't care about shit but their own sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. And even their own sci-fi fantasy bullshit, they don't even really give a fuck about that. Because we know their lore more than them. I had a video on my fucking YouTube channel, right? A regular lit video where I highlighted not only all these things I just said, but also the Bible passage where the Lord is like, no, kill the children. Actually kill the children and the babies. It says it specifically verbatim. And we can look at all these different translations, and it says that the Lord is totally schmotally down with the killing of the children. And all these goofy ass Christians come out the woodwork. And what's so crazy is, like, they were all in the comments of the video and didn't even acknowledge that part. They only kept trying to say, so we should allow children to fucking die? We should allow abortion to happen? And I'm like, I never made a pro-abortion argument, ever. Which goes to show me all these bitch-ass goofies that were in the comments didn't actually watch the video at all. They just wanted to recite their retarded-ass garbage and not the actual facts of the matter. Because I'm like, yo, I never once said that I was pro-abortion, y'all. This is why y'all are so retarded. Because y'all are so caught up in your fucking emotions that you literally missed the forest for the trees. You didn't even consume the content. You didn't even read what I said. You didn't hear what I said. Now, I was definitely being rude as fuck, for sure. I have no problem being rude because they deserve it. When people show that they're disingenuous and are completely unbothered by truth, yeah, what reason is there for me to respect their bullshit? They have demonstrated they're completely unconcerned with facts. So why should I show them respect for what? That's like saying I should respect Hitler. That I should respect Hitler because he has this retarded ass view. I would get all these people in the comments all the fucking time, especially when I was on Twitter. Why can't you just let them believe what they want to believe? Why you gotta be expressing all of this hate? All of this hatred? Why can't you just let them, if it makes them a better person, then what's the... I'm like, wait, so allowing children to get raped makes you a better person? Enabling a society that enables child rape makes you a better person? If that's what you really think, you're a piece of shit. And therefore, why should I respect you? We're back at the fucking beginning. If you are somebody who's anti-rape, anti-child rape, and you're like against children being raped, but you support a community where children get raped the most, then what the fuck? What the hell are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense that this is exactly what has been normalized in our society on such a fucking constant basis, on a normal basis. It's like, I'm living in fucking the Twilight Zone. Because, oh, if Trump does it, oh my God, Trump, he's such a fucking... Did you see what it said in the Epstein files? The Epstein files, oh my God, it's so... What about the LA Times? What about what it says in the fucking local NBC fucking affiliate? Talking about the local fucking pastor that did the shit. Why aren't the people up in arms about that shit? Why aren't the people up in arms over this $400 million shit? Right? Where are the Christians who are so anti-rape and they're like, oh my God, we're so against rape? These priests, these pastors are pieces of shit. These churches are pieces of shit. Matter of fact, if this is what y'all are about, I'm denouncing this shit. Oh, and by the way, where the fuck is the Lord? I'm still waiting for that answer. Which is the point. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it. Woo, 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 woo! We ain't never gonna get a fucking answer from these fucking loonies because they don't have any answers, because there is no supernatural, super intelligent, super thing. They don't have a Jesus Christ GPT app. They don't have the query. They don't have the prompt to say, hey, Jesus Christ, please help us figure out how to stop rape in the church. Please. They don't have nothing. They pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. Nothing happens. So they keep praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. And then when nothing happens, well, I guess they'll just give more of their thoughts and prayers and move on to the next thing, because who cares? So that's why I'm like, this is every day. This is every day. Right? How is it? I go and look up this shit. This is the first thing that comes up. $395 million settlement. Right? All the media outlets are covering it. But how many people will actually give a fuck? How many Christians are going to use this as motivation to say, look, we as a community need to stamp out sexual assault as a whole right now? Oh, right, that's never, ever going to happen. Right? Because I showed y'all the website, the notinourchurch.com. But I'm like, why would they need that? First of all, y'all got the Lord. So you that should totally, by itself, protect y'all. Right? You should be the most protected in your church. But then, like, the fucking Vatican has billions of fucking dollars. You got all these fucking churches all across the country with all these vast resources. You got all these mega churches, all these fucking rich-ass pastors. They have more than enough resources. We're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry. If they really wanted to create the infrastructure to really, like, ensure safety in their facilities, there is literally nothing stopping them. They have the president, the vice president of the United States, by the way, not just like, oh, of some Christian organization. The president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, the secretary of state, the fucking cabinet, the motherfucking Supreme Court, the motherfucking Congress, all these different politicians all across the country, all these fucking different people, all these athletes, all these actors and actresses and singers and dancers and all these fucking performers and all these notable ass people that all belong to the same sci-fi fantasy fucking fan club, and don't none of them have a single answer. I mean, we're talking about, we can't even watch the NBA. I can't even watch the NBA finals without some fucking sci-fi fantasy loony, giving their praise and thanks to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. These are rich ass sci-fi fantasy fan club members, by the way. They have all the money by themselves. In the NBA, you just say, we ain't even gotta talk about the fucking Vatican and all these fucking goddamn churches and pastors and shit. We can just say, hey, Christians in the NBA, Christians in the NFL, they have all this fucking money. They have everything that they need. If they really actually cared about the shit, they could just spend that shit right now. If they knew, hey, I could fucking stop rape in the church with $2 million, I mean, it can't take that much. And considering that this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, they have way the fuck more than enough. Way more than enough to create the infrastructure if they really cared about the kids. But see, the problem is, they are the ones that are raping the kids the most. That's the point. So, that's why I'm so disgusted at this notinourchurch.com. That's why, like, I find it important to do a bit of victim blaming. Because I don't blame her for the fact that she got raped by a priest or pastor or whatever when she was in the church. I'm mad at her because she thinks that she's going to stop that with her weak-ass website. When all these pastors and priests and churches and Vatican and shit, they have all the money. They have all the resources, way more resources than you could ever need for you not to need to make this site to begin with. Oh, and by the way, you got the Lord. You have the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. No, they don't, Poison. They don't give a fuck. That's exactly. But not only do they not give a fuck, they're the ones doing it. They're the ones doing it. If I'm a criminal, why would I fucking not do crime? If that's what I do. I am the criminal. I'm the criminal. So why would I just decide to not do crime if I could just pay a couple fines? And I can still blow minds. That's what they do. That's what they will always do. Because that's literally who they are. Not every single Christian, obviously. I wouldn't even say the majority of Christians. But this is the institution that they support. The people that are at the top, there are a lot of them that engage in this behavior. If you are a Christian, you are putting yourself and your children at risk for no good goddamn reason. There is nothing of value you're going to get from the church. You are not going to get any kind of fucking cures for any disease of any kind. You're not going to get the blueprint to create some new invention that's going to help the world at all. You're not going to pray your way to stopping climate change. You're not going to pray your way to stopping those floods in Kentucky. You're not going to pray your way to stopping the fires in fucking Utah. You're not going to pray your way to shit. I've never seen faith move a mustard. I've never seen the faith of a mustard seed move a goddamn thing other than rapists to rape. That's it. That's the only thing I've seen a faith-based person do. That. Otherwise, I've never seen somebody with faith move shit. At all, period. Never, ever, not once. That's why it's a scam. It's the greatest scam ever. A multi-trillion-dollar pyramid scheme. The pyramid scheme of all pyramid schemes, which is so crazy to me. People can recognize all these different pyramid schemes that aren't the church, but the greatest pyramid scheme of all time, people throwing their money at. They throw money at it. They can't make enough money. Multi-trillion-dollar industry. So that's why, like, I hate our society. It might explain, right? And this is the last thing I'm going to say before I go. So one of the things I like to show y'all is this map called the Global Peace Index. It measures all the countries in the world based on their level of peace. The higher the score, the less peaceful you are. The lower the score, the more peaceful you are. So basically, number one is the most peaceful country in the world. Number 163 is the least peaceful country in the fucking world. So basically, a country at war, a country that's destroyed from fucking armed conflict, yeah, they're going to be super duper low on the list. So, you know, countries like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, they're going to be at the fucking bottom. But guess where we are on this list? Guess where we are? So, if we look at the map, one thing you can see is that we're clearly not number one. Like, flat out. You can look at the whole top 10 list and you don't see America nowhere. Matter of fact, if you actually scroll, you will see you gotta scroll. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's Malaysia. Yeah. Looks a lot like America, but no cigar. But they're number 12. But where's America? The greatest country in the fucking world. America, the United States. Yeah, we're all the way down. All the way. We all the way. We gotta keep on go. We gotta keep on go. Oh, there we are. 134. Yeah, we're close to the fucking bottom. Yeah, that's where we rank as a fucking nation. Close to the fucking bottom. Yeah, greatness, guys. We're so fucking great. We're so great that we fucking suck ass. Yeah, people talk about American exceptionalism. If you consider 134 exceptional, something is wrong with your fucking brain. AKA, you're retarded. You're suffering from some various form of psychological disorder or disorders. You might be suffering from multiple disorders. You need to get psychological help. But here in the scam capital, the capital of the world, you can't get the help because you broke. If you ain't rich, then you ain't getting no help. And we all need help because we're all suffering. That's the sad part. See, some people might say, like, I use the R word, I'm being ableist and all that type of shit. But what people don't understand, I use it because we're all retarded. Because we all have microplastics. We all have perfluorochemicals. We all have all these fucking pollutants that are crossing our blood-brain barrier and affecting our cognition in all these different ways. And there's not enough research to determine how bad we're being affected. And we can just assume that it's really bad, considering how far gone we have gotten. That we are literally living in idiocracy in real life right now. To the point where we literally have a bootleg President Camacho. We don't even have the real President Camacho. Because at least President Camacho is cool. He got muscles. He's black. You know what I'm saying? He got the fucking perm. But the president we got now, he got a mop. Old as fuck. Don't know what the hell he's talking about. And he loves him some fucking Jesus all fucking day. And he actually does think that because Gatorade has electrolytes, we're gonna fucking grow plants with that fucking shit. It's so bizarre. This is the life that we're literally living in real life right now. And there is no amount of fucking voting your way out of this craziness because both major parties are garbage as fuck. I hate the political discourse in America because there's no way that we can solve any of the shit with the system that we have right now. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what party you like. They both suck. Whoever you vote for sucks. They're going to do a shitty job because what are they even doing? They're not trying to, there's, again, we don't have a purpose. We don't have a goal. These fools don't have any clear goals other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, the churches. And gaslighting us all fucking day while they're killing us. Acting like what they're doing totally helps us. Despite the fact that the data and the information shows that these fuckers don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah. Dusty, crusty, and very, very fucking just sucks. Alright? But this is what we have to deal with. So that's why when people talk about, oh, we should have got Kamala, oh, we should have got Hillary, or whatever fucking goofy ass Democrat that you thinking about, what about the Democrats we did get? What did we get from them? How did they prevent this shit from happening? Oh, right, they didn't. They helped cause this shit. That's how we got here. That's why I don't care about any of this two-party false dichotomy. Because we're not going to reach any fucking good place with this flawed, corrupt system that we have. This pay-to-play system that we have. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter which party you support. I don't care how liberal, how progressive you think these bullshit candidates are, they still have to work within the corrupt system. So even if they have the best of intentions, they can only do so fucking much. How do you think we got here? How do you think we got here? Hell, how do you think I got here? I was on TikTok. If you look at my fucking videos, there's giant gaps in the years between when I was uploading on my YouTube, right? Because for the past few years, I was on TikTok. The only reason I came to YouTube was because they was fucking me over on TikTok. Because I was talking about this type of shit. Which means that these institutions do everything possible to suppress this data, to suppress this information. Right? That's why you don't see it nowhere. That's why you have to come here to see it. Because you're not going to see it on the major news media outlets. They're not going to show you on ABC, CNN, CBC, CNBC, ABC, Fox News, or any of that crap. MSNBC. You're never, ever going to get this information because they don't want you to know. They want you to think that if you just, well, outside of Fox News, of course. They want you to think that if you vote Democrat, that's going to make everything wonderful. Even though I'm living in the Democrat-run city right now in Chicago, and it is a shit show. It is a shit show. Oh, we got an $800 million presidential library, right? $800 million presidential library. What the fuck does that do for our city? How does that help our lives here in Chicago? Because that same weekend we had the major mass shooting. A lot of people died. The fuck does the library do to prevent that? You mean to tell me motherfuckers couldn't figure out anything better to do with $800 million fucking dollars? You thought creating a bullshit ass library was the move. All these people are so like, yes, we love the library. I mean, I even had to argue with one of my own people about how useless this library is. Motherfuckers talk about, oh, I wish we had that in my city. For what? It'd be a symbol of black progress. Dude, we're not progressing. What the fuck are you talking about? In what way are we progressing? We still ain't even got no damn reparations. In what way are we progressing? Oh, because some guy somewhere got a fucking nice job? Oh, because that one black guy has a nice suit on TV? Oh, so I guess that one black guy represents every black guy in the fucking America right now, right? Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? That's why I've created this new system that I think you're gonna like. So come through, join the Discord, hit the website offthe9.com, and come fuck with your boy. Because the shit, we're not getting anywhere with this two-party false dichotomy. We're not gonna get anywhere praying and praying and praying and praying and donating to these fucking psychopaths all fucking day. It's getting us nowhere. We need a new system. But this system, we can't hope for a revolution. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to revolt. Anybody who tries to revolt will be shut down. But also, most people who would try to revolt don't have a clear vision of how actually they would hope to accomplish this revolt. So let's not engage in that. We don't have to revolt. Let's just build a community of like-minded individuals who see the fucking bullshit, who want to make the world a better place. How? By becoming what's called a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. A civilization that can basically master its planet. A civilization that can harness the energy of its planet. A civilization where the people, where the institutions can work together interdependently with synergy towards actual progress. To, instead of resource scarcity, we have abundance. And when I say scarcity, it's artificial. Because the rich, the banks, the corporations, the churches, they hoard everything. I call them hyper efficient resource extraction mechanisms. All these corporations, all these churches, all these rich individuals, they have found all these sneaky bullshit ass ways to bleed us dry of all of our money, all of our resources. They do everything possible to convince us that what they're doing is helping us, despite the fact that they don't do shit. Or at best, it's inadequate as hell. But people are so fucking retarded that they seem to be cool with this shit. And even when they're not cool with the shit, they can't think straight to figure out how to solve this shit. So that's why I created a system that helps with that. That literally helps you to open your fucking mind and to actually develop some critical thinking skills. You can't just come up in here and just think you can willy-nilly say whatever the fuck you want and it's totally cool. No, you actually have to demonstrate that you know what the hell you're talking about. So I created a system where you can learn about the problems that we have today and how you can help actually counteract that. And it takes us working together interdependently with synergy towards a common goal, because the number one problem in our society is the lack of coordination. It's called coordination failure. We're not lacking the resources, we're not lacking the infrastructure, we're not lacking the manpower. We have a country here in America of 300 plus million people. We have a GDP of multiple trillions of dollars. We got all these fucking multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations. We got all these people in government. We have all these people in positions of wealth and decision-making. And yet we have this, let's just say, suboptimal state that we experience. And that's why I say it's a kakistocracy, because the people who are in the positions don't know what the hell they're talking about. And honestly, they shouldn't even be in their positions. They're not qualified. They might have qualifications, but they're not qualified mentally. They subscribe to these sci-fi fantasy ideologies. They push for ridiculous policies, and they're corrupt as fuck. They have no business in any position of decision making at all. So that's why we have to completely revamp the whole system, but we have to do it smartly. Right? We can't do it thinking we're going to do it with violence. We're not going to fucking grab a bunch of weapons and try to storm the Capitol. We're now on no January 6th shit. That's not going to get us to the fucking promised land. Because the moment motherfuckers try some shit like that, we're going to have to deal with the motherfucking military. And I don't think any of y'all ready to deal with that shit. But why should we have to? I say all the time, we should not need violence to make our point. Violence should be a last resort. We need to think. But we need to think together. We need to think things through. We need to use our critical thinking skills to their maximum capability. We have so many people who have so much potential. They have so many skills. They have a great education, but they don't put it to use at the highest level that they could for making the world awesome. A lot of them think that they're doing that, but they're not, because there's no clear focus as to what they're doing that actually helps. Which is how we got to this nefarious state where we're on the verge of self-destruction as a species. So come through to the website offtheline.com and join the goddamn Discord. The link is available right there. It's right there. So just head there and join the Discord. It's a couple clicks. And I'm telling you, you're welcome. Alright? So stay smooth. We're about to head to the Discord right now. Come and follow me. And we are going to reach the promised land in real life, in real time, while we are alive. Not hopefully, possibly one day. But how about starting today? If you knew all you had to do was come to the website, come through the Discord, and that's free, nobody's charging you a dime to do it, what the fuck is stopping you? And I'm telling you, the system is super fucking cool. And I'm going to start to show y'all very soon. Once we work out the kinks and make sure everything's